Hello and welcome to this hurricane short summary. This short summary is going to be looking at 2004's Hurricane Francis. This is the second of four notable hurricanes that I am looking at from 2004. So let's just jump right in. Obviously, starting off with the formation and then landfalls of this hurricane. Originally starting off as TD6, that is Tropical Depression 6. This depression is recognized on 0 UTC, that's Universal Coordinated Time, August 25th. This would be 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, August 24th, and this is recognized as a depression 2,300 kilometers to the east of the Lesser Antilles. Pretty soon after this, around an estimated 12 hours after, this tropical depression becomes a tropical storm, therefore gaining the name of Francis, and it is on the same day, around the 26th, that her that this storm becomes a hurricane. This hurricane would continue to strengthen to a wind speed of 132 miles per hour, and on the 28th of August achieve its pressure peak. Francis's peak pressure was 9, or minimum pressure, I guess, was 935 millibars. The wind peak was achieved separately, which is why I separated the two. This wind peak was 145 miles per hour. Not as strong as Charlie, which saw 150, but still very high nonetheless. And this was achieved on the 2nd of September. Francis made multiple landfalls, around 4 to 5, and we'll go over the three main ones here. The first was on September 2nd, where the island of San Salvador was hit. Grand Bahama was also hit on the same day. The northwestern Bahamas would see another strike through the 4th of September. And finally, mainland U.S. landfall was on the 5th of September, landfalling on Hutchinson Island. It was at this point, around the 3rd of September, so from this point on, Francis is a pretty stable Category 2. However, we do see a quite rapid weakening upon mainland U.S. landfall, which is a good thing and pretty normal. Francis would cause a total of 50 deaths, 43 of them being indirect. Francis would also cause a total of 10.1 billion US dollars in damage. Francis would, as you can see here uh, in the top middle right over here, cause a large amount of rainfall, whether it be from just landfall and as well as the remnant low that persists afterwards. And we see that a lot of New England up here, and as well as just say the 13 colonies, or you can just say the Atlantic coast, saw a lot of rainfall. North Carolina actually getting the maximum, getting close to 2 whole feet of rain, which is a lot. That's a lot of rain. Um, Francis would cause some extreme crop damage, as well as some pretty intense erosion, as we can see here from this road being just completely rotted out from underneath. In the Bahamas, 75% of the islands would lose power, and Francis would briefly hold the record for the number of tornadoes caused by a tropical system, that being 106. Speaking more about the crop damage that was done in Florida was even worse than what had happened in Charlie, than by Charlie, I should say, which is pretty striking considering that Charlie just recently happened, so this is pretty damn devastating to the product that is being produced in Florida. Obviously, crop damage would be done in other places as well besides the US. Surprisingly, not Florida, but two-thirds of Georgia would be declared a disaster area by President Bush. And as mentioned before, we saw some pretty rapid weakening upon landfall, which did help subside some of the damage, not all, but a fair bit. We would see here that, why am I forgetting JFK? That that's an airport. You would see that the Kennedy Space Center would be hit. There you see some tiles missing here from a shuttle facility, as well as many roofs covered in blue tarps, many boats being wrecked about like toy cars. Like a child does to toy cars when they're all done and they say, "Oh, you gotta go clean up," so they just shove them all in the corner and say, "I'm done." I do that too with Legos. Don't judge me. Francis had a fair bit of significance to this, although not say as much as Charlie or the highlight of the 2004 season, Ivan. But again, Francis did hold the record for producing the most amount of tornadoes ever by a tropical storm. Again, that being 106. Ivan would beat this out by causing 127. And very notably, Francis would be the first hurricane or just first tropical system to strike all of the Bahamas since 1866. Some had come very, very close to affecting the whole archipelago, but none had done it since then, which is a very, very good thing. Also note that the name Francis would be retired. The name would be replaced with Fiona, and this would be for the 2010 name list, as the name lists just rotate. And if a name is retired, then it's just replaced with a different one. That, folks, is all that I have on Hurricane Francis. I hope that you all learned something and enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I thank you all so much for watching.